We've got another guest
Hey, what's up,
joining
good
us
man?
right now,
Hey.
Micheal
Hey,
Chiesa.
what's up?
Always love seeing you, sir.
It's good to be here.
Great fight for you coming up. Two veterans, Max Griffin, yourself. How are you feeling coming into this one?
I feel good. It feels good to just roll into another fight. You know, I can't remember the last time I fought twice in 4 months, so it just feels good to just, given the health of my body, to just be rolling into some fights, and getting to fight on my 37th birthday is going to be pretty interesting, so I'm pretty excited.
First off, happy
Happy
birthday
birthday,
to you.
congratulations.
On that one. So, I mean, you've wanted to be active, but you've had all these different injuries along the way that have stopped you from being in action. So what has been the key for you feeling so good at this stage in your career?
Just listening to my body. I don't have a problem pushing myself, but I think that's also the problem, is I push myself too hard sometimes. So really it's about listening to my body, and it's like listening to the peers around me. You know, like I get to be around guys like Michael Bisping, Daniel Cormier, guys like that all the time. And so taking advice from them, because those guys fought late into their, you know, late 30s. I almost said 70s. Forgive me, I haven't had any carbs yet.
Don't
you know,
worry about
but you know, they fought late into their 30s, into their 40s. So it's like I like to take a lot of advice from them, apply it to my training. So it's all about listening to my body. And as Bisping says, it takes a confident fighter to take a rest day. So don't be afraid to take a rest day if your body's not feeling up for it. So just listening to my peers and applying it to my training.
I like to tell myself I'm 37 years young when I'm preparing for a fight, not 37 years
Yeah,
old. It kind of helps with the mindset. You know, I feel great. And you know what? It takes a long time to get good in MMA. Like a lot of people, they underestimate like how hard it is to master 3 elements of a sport. Like if you're just boxing, you only got to worry about your hands, right?
Yeah.
And then like, but MMA, you got to worry about the striking, you got to worry about the wrestling, and you got to worry about the jiu-jitsu. So it takes a lot of years to get good. So I don't see it as a bad thing that you're 37. Actually,
No.
in my opinion, you might be entering your prime. One thing that I really liked, I heard you talk about in one of your interviews recently, is that you feel like you've made it in life, you've won in life. And I just want you to extrapolate on that and say, like, how does that help you going into this fight?
It just kind of takes a lot of the pressure off. You know, I think that a lot of guys, when you're in your 20s, you know, and you're really in the chase, you're not even in your prime, you're just so focused on being a fighter, but you have to come to terms with the reality of life that at some point youth runs out, you know, and for me, this is everything I've wanted in life, is everything revolving around mixed martial arts. I want to wake up and just have everything I do in life revolve around this sport, and getting the opportunities to work as an analyst, and now just making that push to get to commentary. It's like a liberating feeling where it's like I don't have to go look for the next, like, what am I going to do when I'm done competing? And the best part about it is I get to keep my identity intact. And I think that's something that a lot of athletes, not just fighters, but athletes, like guys in the NFL struggle with, like, oh, I'm not an NFL player anymore, I have to go find something else. And it's like, for me, I get to be a fighter for the rest of my life, because this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be what you guys, I'm going to be doing what you guys are doing. I'm going to have a microphone in my hand. I'm going to have my headset on, and that's all I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So when the gloves get hung up way far down the road, I'm always going to be me. I get to be a fighter for the rest of my life. And I think that that is just something that's very liberating and just takes so much pressure off my shoulders, where it's like, I don't even have to think about, like, what's plan B? I get to stick with plan A for the rest of my life. So I count my blessings every day. Thank God I get to be a fighter for the rest of my life.
It's definitely a rarity in our sport, right? Like, you know, a lot of, like you said, you brought up NFL players, but some of them get to be like broadcasters and stuff, but only a few.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that you're already planning your retirement throughout your career,
Yeah.
and you haven't lost any steam yet. Like
No.
you're still winning fights. You're still, and I want to ask you, like, for this fight tomorrow, like, what is something that you think is like a big weakness in this game, or what are you looking to take advantage of tomorrow?
I think that for Max, I think that the advantage that I think the thing I want to take advantage of the most is he just thinks that I can only do one thing. I think that he thinks I'm only good in one specific area, and I've only been training mixed martial arts for 16 years. That, you know, like, only 16 years, you think I only know how to grapple. Like, I can't tell you how much banter I get from my teammates. Like, when are you going to just go out there and let it fly? Like, you know, like, I have great striking. I just always choose to stick with plan A. So I think that's the weakness that is going to be presented for me to take advantage of, is just the fact that he thinks I'm a one-trick pony. And I give him his credit. I've seen him adjust his game plan, like when he fought Zaleem, really wrestling-heavy approach. A lot of his other fights, sprawl and brawl. Tim Means, we saw him use a lot of angles and land that right hand. You know, you see me up here juking and jiving.
He might have a plan like that for you then.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's like, that's the weakness that I'm going to exploit, is I'm going to show that I'm a very well-rounded mixed martial artist, and I think it's going to catch him off guard.
We were just talking about Bilal Muhammad, how he was saying before his last fight he had hands like Alvarez. Do you have hands like Alvarez? Are we going to be surprised tomorrow?
I'd say I got hands like Pacquiao, because he's more of a southpaw, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So I'm hoping you get to surprise him tomorrow with some of those things. Aaron, did you have anything?
Yeah, one last thing. I asked Chase Hooper this.
Yeah.
The UFC is potentially coming to Seattle
Yeah.
in February. Is that a card you'd like to be on if that's going to be coming to fruition because you've represented the Pacific Northwest very proudly throughout your career.
I don't want to look too far ahead, and my managers told me this, my coaches told me this, my teammates are like, focus on the task at hand. So I put it on the back burner, focus very much on fighting on my birthday, focus on he's a tough opponent. Let's just be honest here. Max Griffin's only been finished by one guy, and that one guy fought for a world title 3 times, and that's Colby Covington. So it's like, it would be a big mistake for me to be counting my chickens before they hatch. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to get through Max, then I'm going to fight in Seattle. Like, no. Let's focus on the task at hand. I got 15 minutes of war tomorrow. I got to be ready. I got to be very, very mentally present for this fight. But if I can walk out of there unscathed, I'm going to take a week off, get back to it. I don't know if they have a main event for Seattle. Is there a name in mind? Yes.
Oh, nice.
Is there a slot on the card in mind? Yes. So, but I just got to focus on the task at hand. But I would love nothing more than to make that walk at Climate Pledge Arena. That would be, I want to get that one back. That's where I had my first pro loss. So I would love to go back to Seattle. I would love to fight. And maybe they don't have a spot in that main event. So I know I don't have that number next to my name, but I have a name in mind I think that would validate me getting that position on that card. But either way, it's all about my health, how I feel. That'd be 3 fights in 6 months, 7 months. Pretty busy schedule, so we'll see what happens.
A nice check too. A few
There
checks.
we go.
A nice
A couple
few checks.
nice checks, Yeah, it won't be too bad.
All right, Mike, always a pleasure catching up with you. You've been doing great work as well, doing
Thank you,
commentary
man.
for BFL in Vancouver and getting some reps doing that. So we're looking forward to your career that's happening right now, your fight career, and then I think after we're going to see you as a color commentator in the UFC. You do a great job.
Congratulations on the nomination for the MMA Awards again. You're one of the best, man. You're doing very good.
I beat him
job.
again.
And
I beat him 3 years in a row. I beat him 3 years in a row.
All right, Hawani, let's calm down. Let's calm down.
Yeah, love you guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.